It's a beautiful thing too. Hold up. Yay.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. Let's see how fast I can get through Impact this week. Because there was not that many matches, and of course there wasn't that many matches of consequence, but you could probably get through Impact pretty quickly. They had a long opening segment just to say that Kenny Omega and Moose will be taking place at Daly's Place in Jacksonville. Apparently this will be the only match that will be in Jacksonville. The rest of the show will be at the Nashville taping facility that they're currently in. So they're trying to do WrestleMania 2, where there's going to be more than one venue. Which tells me that there's probably going to be something recorded for Moose and Kenny Omega. Or, you know, I know that the point of it is to stop the Good Brothers from interfering or something like that. But this was silly. Tony Khan is terrible at promos. He came out there talking about, I don't want to go through what he talked about. He's the shits. He constantly looks at the camera. He's too aware of the camera. He's still wearing shades indoors. It's ridiculous, man. But Don Callas did say that, he got what he wanted. He wanted Moose versus Omega 1-on-1 with no Sami Callihan. That was what he got. But he did get surprised with the change of venue. He also got surprised with the match in July, that the winner will face Sami Callihan July the 17th at Slammiversary. So Slammiversary is the big show of these entire run of shows that Kenny Omega will be main eventing. Slammiversary is going to be the biggest show so far. So that's probably going to be the show that's most loaded as far as the card is concerned. And they already got the main event. It's going to be Sami Callihan versus the winner of Kenny Omega and Moose. And that's really all that came out of the opening segment, which is a complete waste of everybody's time. Omega and Callas decided to put a hit on Sami Callihan. Callas basically at this point is just like, get rid of him. I want him gone. I don't care what you guys do. I don't want to use the word murder, but whatever you got to do, I don't want to deal with Sami Callihan ever again. And then Scott D'Amore, once again, overhears Don Callis' plan and says that he's making a new match to keep the Good Brothers away from Sami Callihan and to keep them away from Jacksonville. That they're going to have to stay in Nashville and work against Sami Callihan and a partner of his choosing. So that's that. The partner ended up being Tommy Dreamer. Now, a lot of people wanted it to be Jon Moxley, and it might be a fake out, and it really is Jon Moxley. But, as for right now, it's Tommy Dreamer and Sami Callihan, two people who were just fighting not too long ago. And Tommy Dreamer is like, hey, let's put our differences to the side, because I bleed for this company. I'm Impact Wrestling through and through. So, okay, whatever. How to Be a Professional Part 2 promos. This was very good. Sam Beal was given the direction to cut a promo on Matt Cardona because he's going to wrestle him on Saturday. And so Sam Beal cuts this promo where he bigs up Matt Cardona about, how he's faced some of the best in the business and he has a hot wife. And Brian Myers like, what are you doing? And he was like, isn't it a promo 1-on-1 that you big your opponent up to make him look good? And he was like, no, this is where you bury Matt Cardona. This is where you say that he sucks. The only real advice that he gave him other than that was to say that a match is a promo and a promo is a match, which I've heard from WWE guys before. So that's Brian Myers being a little tongue-in-cheek there with what a promo is. But Sam Beal cut this amateur 80s style pro wrestling promo that was actually pretty good. And gotta tell you, man, I enjoyed that. It was actually pretty good. No problem with that. Rosemary defeated Havoc to retain her number one contendership. Deanna and company attacked them after the match. Then Susan wanted Kimberly to fight Tasha right now, which didn't turn out too well for them because Tasha Steelz beat Kimberly. Then Deanna Purrazzo and Susan attacked the ring again, beat up Fire and Flava, and then beat up Then got beat up by Rosemary and Havoc, who also took down Deanna and Susan. Whatever. Who cares, right? Rosemary should not be anywhere near winning the title, but she's kind of run her course. Whatever. Macklin cut a promo basically saying that if you don't see Mr. Mayhem, he will. And he talked about, hey, having his back against the wall and now his back against the wall again. This was actually a very good promo. It seemed like they might be doing some kind of Jekyll and Hyde thing with him. I'm loving what they're doing so far. It's pretty mysterious. It's very Jason Bourne-ish. But there's obviously layers to it, so he's obviously going to have like probably multiple personalities or something like that. But that's ought to be fun. WWE stayed bringing families back together. So now Macklin is back with Deonna Purrazzo where he should be. Josh Alexander talked about, oh yeah, I've been waiting for that opportunity to have a match like the one I had the previous week, the Iron Man match. I've been trying to have those matches all the time. And then Ace Austin showed up and said, hey, if you're interested in watching the 5-way because you want to learn who your opponent is, don't bother watching the tag team match tonight because I'm not in it and I'm your only competition, yada, 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 bunch of nonsense. Tag team match, Petey Williams and Trey Mcgill versus Rohit Raju and Chris Bay. Petey Williams and Trey Mcgill win when Trey Mcgill locks in his submission hold on, I believe it was Rohit Raju. I do believe maybe Trey Mcgill is the right opponent for Josh Alexander. I think that would be so much better, but I don't see the benefit in beating Trey right now. I think you keep Trey strong, and maybe Trey is the guy who beats Kenny Omega for the title. That would be fine, right? That would be instantly making a new star. It'll also be rewarding the guy for not jumping to WWE when he had the chance, right? I guess if you're going to reward a guy for not jumping ship, Trey would be the guy, because I'm pretty sure he would be. Now, would he be a star right now? Probably not, but he'd probably be doing that cringe MSK thing, but who knows? Anyway, Madman Fulton and Ace Austin jumped the tag team winners after the match, and then Josh Alexander came out there to help, and they ended up giving Madman Fulton Canadian Destroyer. It was dumb. Willie Mack made Rich Swann promise not to come out there and help him. He was going to fight W. Morrissey and kick his ass in on his own. Later in the show, W. Morrissey beat the crap out of Willie Mack and just beat him. No disqualification match that looked like a mild dust up more than an actual match. Willie Mack's facial expressions still are really good when it comes to selling. It sucks that he's not really doing much of anything. I know his promo skills aren't that strong, and he's actually balding. He probably should just go ahead and get rid of it and get rid of his short afro. But Willie Mack is a guy who's talented. He just doesn't have a mean streak. But I do like W. Morrissey because he does have a mean streak, and he's excellent at it. Tanyo Dashwood did a really cringe, awkward talking segment where she was once again trying to be tag team partners with Rachel Ellering. Rachel got offended on behalf of Jordynne Grace, who was sitting right there, feeling like that Jordynne was being disrespected. And then Jordynne says, well, hey, if you feel that way, Tanyo, and you want to be her partner so badly, how about we fight right, at Against All Gods? And she said she's going to go make the match. So, whatever. I don't see why we need to have that. That is the shits. The Jordynne Grace versus Tanyo Dashwood, I don't know if I feel about that one. You could have had that one on this show. Violent by Design cut a promo, and they're good as usual. He said Eric Young talked about the odds being stacked against him, but he's putting his faith in Diener, and that he don't want his faith misplaced. That Diener is going to retain the tag team championship for them at Against All Odds. Then he talked about Eddie Edwards being the heartbeat of Impact Wrestling, but the heartbeat is irregular. It needs to be stopped, and that Joe Doring is just the guy to do it. And then he says that the sickness apparently has gone global because Satoshi Kojima also has it, and they're dedicated themselves to eradicating the sickness. So the match was Joe Doring versus Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards won by disqualification when all of Violent by Design got in the ring. Joe Doring, and all these guys got in there, and it was a big scrum. And it ended with Kojima bumping Joe Doring and knocking him down. And Joe Doring was being held back by Rhino and all the others as we go. Well, it's not as we go off the air, but was it as we go off the air? Well, no, but it was close to it. It was probably like a segment or two away from going off the air. Anyway, I'm not more excited for a double or nothing against all odds. If they were doing the entire show in Daly's Place in front of a crowd, that would be better. That would be interesting. I didn't see that announced. What I saw was, oh yeah, Kenny Omega and Moose is being moved to one venue. So I'm guessing there's going to be probably a small crowd there in order to make these guys feel like something is happening. But to be quite honest, if you're going to do that, you might as well just bring the whole show to Daly's Place. I mean, you own the building, right? Anyway, that's Impact for the week. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.